Good afternoon, everyone, here from Chile. We are starting an excellent day where we will present a very fun and successful case for of Agrosuper companies. My name is Cristian Riveros from Lean Institute Chile, and I'd like to present this case, which is special to us. As you know, Agrosuper during this Lean Day is been practicing and applying a concept called Yokote. And what's yokote, you might be wondering? Yokote is a Japanese word that comes from the Yokentai word, meaning horizontal deployment. And what's yokote itself? That means sharing knowledge, learning, and best practices with the colleagues, with their peers, so they can live the same experience. Now, let me introduce our friends from Agrosuper, Henry Aravena, plant manager from San Vicente, and Mauricio Zúñiga, logistics area leader. Please, guys, the floor is yours. Good afternoon. I am plant manager in San Vicente, Agrosuper. Let me tell you something about our history. We are a company with more than 65 years of history in the production and commercialization of chicken, pork, turkey, and also processed products. At present, we have more than 13,000 employees, and our production process being vertically integrated. And this one starts with the manufacture of feed for our animals, so they can continue with the breeding farms, processing plant, distribution centers, and commercial offices. That allows us to be present at the tables of consumers not only in Chile but also in the rest of the world. I like to refer to our operational excellence model, continuous improvement. It's been like 4 years, for the last 4 years in our industrial area of Agrosuper. We have been working with the conviction of making our processes more efficient and agile. This is why we have implemented a model called IPO, meaning Industrial Process Optimization, and we have navigated through different methodologies with different stakeholders, with different tools, and now we feel we are in a stage of maturity where we have learned to use these tools. We have learned about the lean thinking, and we seek to use our model in the perfect place and the right place. About logistics, about our clients. In Chile, we have 26 branches throughout the country. They are distributed throughout the country, and they allow us to be connected with our customers. And we also ship to more than 100 direct customers from our plants. In the world, we have 8 international offices, 2 offices in the United States, 1 in Mexico, 1 more in Europe, in Geneva. In Asia, we have 3 offices and 1 more office in South America. Our industrial plants. We are 4 industrial plants, and we produce pork, chicken, processed and turkey protein. All of the above converge in 5 logistics centers, and they totaled an amount of around 20,000 frozen pallet and 3,000 fresh pallet positions. We produce and ship 80,000 tons of protein per month. By executing around 7,000 monthly logistic operations. And as we can see here in the illustration, the location of our process plant, Sopraval, for turkey, Lo Miranda plant is for pork and chicken. At San Vicente plant, where we are right now, we process chicken and also hamburgers and nuggets. There's also another plant called El Milagro plant. It's for shipping frozen products. And Rosario plant, they produce pork. This has been an unexpected journey, and it's the lean transformation through people development. In 2019, we started this journey and we accepted this challenge in San Vicente in our logistic plant. And I'll take this chance to introduce and offer the floor to our logistic leader from the plant, from our team, Mr. Mauricio Zúñiga. Hello, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, maybe good evening. As it's been mentioned, in 2019, we decided to take a leap in quality in our operations, and we posed ourselves a challenge to improve our processes in an environment of trust. From the basis of people development, we were confident that we could make progress. So, increasing our capacities was something we proposed because the markets changed. So, we took this journey without investment, with a small model, but having an impact in the depth or at the bottom of the business. This entire process was carried out with our people at the center. Therefore, and something key here, by seeking solutions jointly and not trying to find someone to blame. As I was telling you, and as you may know, everything starts from a problem, and that represents an opportunity. What was our problem? Our market and our business changed. Usually, we used to export 35% of our production, and that was in a short and long term make us see that we could change so that we could reach the amount of 75%, which is our current level of operations. So we needed to adapt ourselves, our processes, without investment in infrastructure and trying to find a solution for it to improve process times. And by reviewing this in depth and putting the problems on the table and facing them and not putting them aside. So from San Vicente, we wanted to increase this in a considerable percentage. And by complying the deadlines, by keeping our key indicators, we compare those associated to emergencies in the process. Keeping our people in the best environment when it comes to atmosphere at work. How did we design this? We designed it jointly with the Lean Institute team. So at the beginning, we wanted to have this in several sessions. So we involved our partners, different areas, quality, among others. And we included our authorities, something important to mention. And they were with us from the very beginning of this journey. And we defined a purpose. And our purpose was expressed clearly. It was nothing ephemeral, it was something that was meant to be a key factor. And we said that in the first quarter, we were going to improve between 15 and 25% of productivity without investment by keeping the level of service, the time of process, without affecting our profits. And of course, complying and meeting all our programs. And that's been fundamental to us because our first purpose was handwritten in the first development strategy. What was the path we followed? First, we bump into a very valuable tool, a tool allowing us to develop ourselves. So we develop a BZM to face this initial problem. So from the very beginning, from the operation, we included all the operations, all the tasks, we mapped them, we checked them one by one, and after that, we identified the problem. So it was 36 problems. So we needed to generate some action plans, some countermeasures to apply the tools. The tools Lean taught us how to use. So we defined those countermeasures, the one that had the best impact. And after this journey, we documented everything. You can see the images there. That's our team, our collaborators, people from the plant, those who add value, working to follow and to meet this purpose involving everyone. So we developed numerous activities. To let our people know this operation and this methodology, and that methodology started to get embedded in them, so they were able to tell us where the problem they identified was. And after that, we tried to document how we were advancing. So we understood the problem, and we started to create our first improvements, such as identifying the products that at first sight could not be easily visible. So we modified some processes, and then we developed other tools, sustainability tools. To us, people are always at the center. They are the cast, the protagonist, the starring. I will leave you a video here. Joanna was the operational leader.
Hola, mi nombre es Joanes, soy supervisor de frigorífico en Planta San Vicente y quería contarles más o menos qué ha significado Lean para nosotros. Al fin y al cabo ha sido la mejora continua de nuestros procesos y optimizando nuestros resultados en gran medida. Así, de esta manera, nosotros con pequeños cambios, con pequeñas acciones, hemos logrado grandes resultados, optimizando, como les decía anteriormente, nuestros procesos y tomando un foco muy importante de protagonismo en los colaboradores de nuestros procesos.
How can we show the real progress of people here? We can see the amount of people with 30,000 workers. Our plants has around 2,000 workers, and the logistic area involved in this process. As you can see, generally speaking, the total mobility of Agrosuper, and particularly on this plant, is around 40 and 50% of internal mobility to cover the work positions. You can see that in the blue line, which is the mobility present in our area during 2022. That means that by objectivizing people development, 100% of the people who opted to a higher responsibility position was covered with the same people participating in the process, people from the plant, but at the same time we have results from the business standpoint, which at the beginning were the ones expected. We increased 15 and 25% our operations in less than the time we have proposed. Nowadays, as of 29 to now, our operation increase is around 40%. We have capacity for production and we started with 18 and now we have 40. That means that 150 operations, extra operations per month, allowing us to rotate 20% more, lower our cost for frozen, and we increase in 50% the productivity on parallel developments, parallel projects from other works directly related to exports, and they've been nurturing the team in the preparations of added value orders. We increase around 30%. And once more, how can we objectivize the development of this? Today, the plant in our area is the first in reaching the development of the whole industrial area. But how we express that? We do it in the same way. From the very beginning until the end, we were able to use the same building to increase this amount of productivity, and all that based on the methodology. And since we are about to talk about Yokoten, in this plant, San Vicente plant, one of the 5 of industrial areas, what we wanted to say was, and we convinced ourselves that we have to expand this to all our logistic operations. And in April, we started a new saga, a new path. With the results in a business unit, we decided to go further, to go beyond, and took the challenge with the Lean Institute to take the entire industrial logistics, to take a leap of excellence in logistic operations by increasing capabilities, reducing process times, and adding something for the digital transformation culture. Concretely, we added one more pillar, a logistics and supply pillar. And again, we started again, but this time with a global perspective. Not from the operation, we defined a purpose, a more ambitious purpose, to approach the 5 logistics centers, and we define objectives and indicators that are now global. Each one have those local tactic, but they aim to these global aspects. One way or another, they will directly have an impact on the strategy. And again, we follow a path to work with indicators to develop a strategy. We have one more strategy added, which is we have a develop information that we have work planning, a very important one that nowadays is done completely with the same methodology, but now including all the plants. The VCM we developed in San Vicente plant was long and extensive. Imagine when it comes to 5 plants. You can see the amount of problems and the amount of opportunities we have identified. That level of opportunities have been making an impact on the business and have been contributing so that the distribution of our process and our products is improve and be more efficient. We have developed multidisciplinary teams between teams which converse in the whole operation. Now we are referring to the staff. We are talking about the whole strategy of Agrosuper, the business area of Agrosuper, the supply chain, the supply area, and everything in one way or another. For each of the global problems, we generate multidisciplinary task force applying the methodology, working with that, to addressing each of the problems, and they monthly report the progress monthly without losing the focus that the progress is in what's local, where our people are. And now we have already found some treasures. We have increased or we have improved the production capabilities, particularly in the industrial area, because the business is not only for chicken, it's been increasing toward export, pork, turkey. We have also increased our rotation, allowing us to lower our working capital. By keeping ourselves stable within cost, we improve our compliance levels and we lowered processed times. And we directly work with the operators. Let me show you a video. That's Johannes, but this time he tells us how he has approached this operational challenge and now with 5 plants operating.
¿Se acuerdan de mí? Hola, soy Johannes Jiménez, supervisor de frigorífico de Planta San Vicente. Anteriormente les comenté lo importante que había sido Lean para nosotros y para nuestra empresa en el desarrollo de la mejora continua en nuestra planta. En este video les vengo a contar que tengo el honor de ser el líder de implementación a nivel industrial y operacional. Para esto les quiero comentar que obviamente esto ha sido un poco más difícil, porque es un equipo mucho más grande, con 5 plantas, 5 despachos, personas distintas, culturas distintas. Algo que muchas veces cuesta un poco más en ponernos de acuerdo. Pero de a poco hemos ido avanzando. En un principio es más complejo, pero ya estamos logrando resultados súper importantes, tal como lo que hemos logrado en Planta San Vicente y en las otras plantas. Un abrazo, que se encuentre súper bien. 3.
Here, let me show you that from these 5 plants, we have chosen an example. The plant that could initially be away, a little bit away from our operation center. And that's from the point of view of this Agrosuper history. That's been not for a long time with us. So the Agrosuper culture is not so embedded in them. So we found surprise because they have made incredible progress. They have improved a lot and have adapted quickly. And let me give you Ricardo, the Sopraval shipping
Hola,
head.
mi nombre es Ricardo Trigo, soy jefe de despacho de la planta Sopraval. Sopraval se dedica principalmente a la carne de pavo. Nuestras operaciones comprenden desde la recepción, almacenamiento y despacho de productos frescos y congelados para el mercado nacional y exportaciones, con 33.000 y 28.000 toneladas anuales respectivamente. Nosotros desde que comenzamos a trabajar con la metodología Lean, en el pilar transversal hemos incorporado las mejores prácticas de las otras plantas, ¿ya? Primero adecuando la estructura de nuestro equipo, quedando mejor preparado para los desafíos futuros. También hemos incorporado nuevas tecnologías. Todo esto nos ha llevado a tener avances significativos en nuestros principales KPI. Por ejemplo, la OTIF de exportaciones aumentó en un 5.4%. Las horas de proceso de las exportaciones disminuyeron a su vez un 20.5%. El costo de sobreestadía disminuyó en un 58,5%. Y por último, y no menos importante, la movilidad interna de nuestro equipo creció en un 14%. Todo esto nosotros hemos avanzado y seguimos mejorando.
A good leader preaches what he practices. So this has been our presentation, and you can see it now summarized in the video. What you are watching now, I would say that this is an activity for 3 or 4 months ago in the plant which started with this process, our plant. So that means that we can always continue finding improvements. The video you just watched is a transport activity, and they does that 3 times a day for 15 minutes to fetch information to the offices. In such a big company, that transfer takes time. And what we did was detect, well, we always have the focus that we do not do this 100% perfectly. So there is always a space for improvement. And we realize that this transfer with transport, if we avoided this, and now by thinking in this transformation on how to we can give a tool, the work position for this operator can be as best as possible. So we developed a technology development where now he doesn't have to get off the vehicle as it used to be. Now you can see this new video, and the activity that used to take 15 minutes today in 20 seconds has all the information. So we have increased considerably. Now with a small investment, but it has to do with digitalizing the process. How is this connected to Yokoten? There is a connection because this is a development that has been already present in other plants. We focus on the mistakes, we learn from mistakes, so we work on those around them to include the improvements in other areas. What is our takeaway in terms of learning? It is fundamental to share experiences. It is fundamental to to reduce the resistance to change. Also, to be generous with the colleagues and develop people. Imagine that when in 2019 we wanted to implement this process, we saw resistance by the operators, but some middle management, because nobody want to expose their problems initially. There is a mental closure. So imagine what it meant to put the problems on the table, but with all your colleagues. That has been even more difficult. So this is what we've been working on to lower these barriers, looking at the business strategy, and of course, making a profound progress in the complete development of continuous improvement, both in logistic and industrial areas. So this is our conclusion. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mauricio. Excellent presentation. We have run out of time. we won't be able to approach questions, but they can be submitted through the email and we will, of course, answer them. Thank you very much to Henry Mauricio from Agrosuper for their availability, her willingness to share the learning they have achieved in their organization. Thank you very much and see you soon. Thank you very much.